Well, good morning. It's Saturday morning here in Israel. We're in the Galilee, coming up on Arbel Mountain. We're just down from the kibbutz in a very special place in a synagogue here in the Galilee. I'm going to show you a few pictures. This is on the Jesus Trail route, and we'll show you some pictures of that. We're in a special synagogue. It's what they call a Galilean style. And from here, you can see down to the Galilee, and you can see over to Safat, for the mountain, for the city of Safat. But there's something special right behind me that I want to show you. Remember, this is a Galilean style synagogue, and we'll show you a few pictures of that while I'm talking. But right here you can see an asp, or a nave, curved out area that they believe where the ark was kept, not the Ark of the Covenant, but the ark where that would hold the Torah scrolls. And you can see the size of it. It's quite large. It gives me the impression, I think about churches that were built with a very, very similar style. All the churches that you've seen. We're going to show you some also from Gamla and different areas today. But it's interesting that the churches of the early Christian churches, Byzantine churches, the early apostles, they developed and copied this style in their early churches. Churches and synagogues very similar. We're going to show you another synagogue that's very important later. So we're about to head up to the Arbel Cliff and then hike down it into some caves. That's going to be something very special. We're very tired. We've been doing a lot of hiking. We've only got a few days till we come home, and we're looking forward to that. So enjoy the rest of it. We can't wait to be home with you, and I'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
And so here we are in Akko, or Akko, up in the northern part of Israel on the Mediterranean Sea. It's a very lovely place. There's not much mention of it in Scripture. It is noteworthy for the Crusaders' fight against the Muslims for the conquering of the Holy Land. The British, though, used the port as a prison, and during the War of Independence and before during the struggle, prisoners were received, and the strange part about, but nice touch, this prison is now a museum, and they have put these mannequins in the prison, these little touches. You turn a corner and you'll see one, someone who was in prison, you see the guards. It adds a very surreal aspect to the prison. You can see them in their natural habitation. And then the final last little element that really kind of sets your nerves a little bit is the gallows are still in place, where 9 Israeli prisoners were executed during that time frame. So we leave this setting and we head out. Linda's been a bad girl, so she's in the belly of the whale there, reminding us of Jonah. And we want to recommend a restaurant to you. Abu Christo. It's owned by the Orthodox. It's Greek Orthodox family right there in Akko on the marina. They have outstanding food. We really enjoyed it. But before you eat everything that they serve you, you might want to take a look at this purple stuff on the plate. That is pickled turnips. Not sure if that's on everybody's highlighted menu, but the rest of it was outstanding, and we want to support those Christians there in Akko. We took our little Shlomo Jr. car up to Tiberias and to the Mashav at Arbel. There's our little cottage, flanked on the side by lemon trees and olive trees on a nice little path. And you can see the wheat fields and other things growing, unlike the desert that you've seen us in most of the time. The almond trees were flowering and blossoming. They smelled wonderful. But smell, well, the sheep smell and have sounds, and their neighbors, the cows, have sounds, and they have smells. So most of the time in our beautiful cottage, we ate indoors. Well, let's go see something. What do you want to look at? Is this it? These are the dolmens up in the Galilee region. They're thousands of years old. No one knows who built them, why they built them. They're 5, 6, 7 feet tall and wide. Nobody knows. But this is not the reason. This is not the reason that we came up to the Gamla Reserve, nor is this endangered condor species with a wingspan of nearly 7 feet, although they are very beautiful, nor are these wonderful waterfalls that you see right now in Israel. Not even this Byzantine church that's in the Syrian style. Remember Antioch and Damascus, or the iconostasis rail that was there at one time. None of these are why we came to Gamla. Instead, we came to Gamla because of this, because of a war that took place here in 70 A.D. You'll remember Masada in the south and the temple falling and Jesus' prophecy. This is Masada of the north. And that mountain within a canyon had 9,000 inhabitants at the time that the battle took place. There's also something else that's very special about this spot, and we're going to talk about it when we get down this hill, down the side of this mountain, down into Gamla. We're going to talk about what it was. There's another one of those catapult machines. This one catapults cannonballs, stone balls, up against the walls of the city, along with battering rams. And so we're going to go into the city now. As we pass, we got to climb back up, of course, to do that. And when we climb back up, we're going to pass the city walls where the Romans burst through with their battering rams. And we're going to see what it was we came up here for. This synagogue that was built on the side of this cliff. Well, what's so special about it? Well, it was built before the city was destroyed. That means first century. And this synagogue not only could be, but was probably in existence at the time of Jesus' life. In the far distance, you're seeing the Galilee, and then one of those mountains, those hills, is where Jesus cast the demon out of the swine. It's my position that Jesus would have walked up that valley to Gamla. It says that several times in Matthew that he preached in the area of the Goim, of the Gentiles, and that area in the Golan, that's what it's known as. Let's take a brief stop over here at Korazin. Jesus talks about Capernaum, Korazin, Bethsaida, all three of those in the book of Matthew and other Gospels. And inside this synagogue is a unique item. That's a cathedra. You remember the tour guide, the Israeli tour guide, some time back on one of our previous trips, said he'd never heard of such a thing. Well, I've told you about it, and you see, here it is. It's the seat of Moses. And where we get the word cathedra for a bishop's seat for a cathedral. Now, I know that many of the Jews have told you that there are no icons, no items, no carvings inside temples and synagogues. Yet that is a carving of the Greek mythological character Medusa. Go figure it for yourself. Linda stopped in to say hello and give me a little wave there in one of the houses. Whenever you see Linda with me, she's always looking down. She's not watching her feet. She's looking for pottery and for coins. It's something she does all the time, everywhere she goes. I don't know how much of Israel she's seen. We're back up at Arbel on the cliffs, taking a hike. We're getting ready to go down into the caves, and we'll talk about that right now.
Right, so we've hiked down the cliffs. We've missed a lot of good pictures because the camera's in my backpack, and all you have to hold on to is some handholds so you don't dare pull the camera out. So we've climbed up into one of the caves. You can see the fire, the charcoal, where they've been cooking in here. These are some of the caves that the resistors to Herod the Great came to, where the prophets came to hide. And some think that some of these caves are where Jesus himself came the night that he was watching the Peter and the apostles cross the Sea of Galilee in the boat that night. So we're going to see a couple more caves, hike around and go back up to the top of the cliff, and we'll see you back in just a minute.
And so we hiked through a few more of the caves, looking at those aspects where the Galileans tried to defend themselves from Herod, and where the prophets would come, and Jesus and others. And we decided we were too tired for another video, and so we got back on the Jesus trail, and we headed back towards the kibbutz. We have a few more things to do here in Israel before we wind things up and come back home. So in the meantime, may the Lord bless you and keep you and grant you peace.